It's been over a year since the COVID pandemic hit the world, and it's more than a year since I last spoke with art dealer Dominique Lévy for CNNMoney Switzerland. And in that 2020 interview, she gave me an honest assessment of art galleries and art fairs going forward, as art critic Jerry Saltz tweeted at the time. And after many fairs canceled, a wave of online viewing rooms happening, and the very first fairs now physically happening again, I needed to do a follow-up with Dominique, and I'm very pleased that she agreed to speak with me for my own podcast. Dominique, welcome to Swiss Art Biz.
Hi, Tanya. Nice to see you. Oh my gosh, I just realized a year ago went so fast. It seems it was yesterday. So thank you for following up.
Thanks for taking your time. I know you have a busy week as well. So tell me, it was a crazy year. Many things happened. I mean, I'm not going to mention them all. You predicted many things at the time 1 year ago. So I wonder, how was it for you and for the gallery the past few months?
I mean, I have to return the courageous conversation to you. Of all the different conversation, you were the one who asked the tough questions. I don't think I wanted to predict anything. I felt very aware, very concerned, and very engaged with what was going on. And I felt a sense of responsibility, first and foremost towards my team, but more even towards my profession. And so I didn't mean to predict anything. At the time, I got a lot of heat for saying, oh, Art Basel will not happen, art fairs will not happen. It didn't. And it's not about being right or wrong. I just think we all needed something else. We needed to feel safe. We needed to take care, for the ones of us who run businesses, of our employees, definitely of our children, our family, our own selves, strangely enough. And we had to reinvent. And I think we had to rethink, what is it to be a gallerist? What is it to work in the art world? What is it to represent artists? What is it to sell art, buy art, enjoy art? And what really is the fundamental paradigm? What is it that we're doing? And at the end of the day, I came to a very, very clear mindset, which is that what we had to do during the pandemic is a reset. It's really dig down into what is our profession. And at the end of the day, our profession is only one, is to serve the art and the artist and the art community at large. So how to better serve in the middle of a pandemic where, at least I do believe, art has a fundamental role to play. And this has been the year.
Mm-hmm. So you mentioned to reinvent yourself. You did many things. You opened a new space in Paris in fall 2020. You opened a pop-up store or space in Palm Beach in December 2020, which was when usually Art Basel Miami takes place, and it didn't happen. So you were also courageous and just kind of finding your own ways to bring art.
I embraced the virtual art fairs, and Basel was the first and only one to be successful last year, because in June, people were still in lockdown. It had a newness and a joy, and people were thirsty for engagement. And we actually sold close to 18 works during the Basel virtual online fair in June. After that, again, like anything, it went downhill for 2 or 3 reasons. First, people are busy doing their job and spending time on these unfriendly platform, and it's not right. So I came to the conclusion that the only way forward was a place where digital and virtual and experimental was coming together. So we quickly looked at to where our clients had sheltered, or where there was good weather enough so that you could meet and mingle outside. And we decided to go and do art intervention in Miami and in Aspen. And in both of these places, we collaborated with colleagues that are in the design business. And we did these salons, and people would make appointment and come one by one at any time of the day or after dinner. And it was wonderful. It made us feel alive. Of course, we placed some works of art, but really selling was not the idea. Engaging was the idea, sort of an antidote to a certain loneliness. And then, based on the success of this, we opened the gallery in Palm Beach. Not a pop-up, it's there, and for the moment, it's there to stay. We took a sort of abandoned garage in a gorgeous, gorgeous place. It happens to be on a parking lot, but it gave us superb walls, light, dimension. And we've been doing exhibitions that are more attended, indeed, than any of our other locations. We opened Paris, which was a dream of mine, so I didn't want to go back. But Paris has been closed most of the year, same as London. And I really have a lot of empathy for my teams there because they have suffered so much more than we have. They have been in very, very strict lockdown, and it's opening slowly, but it's very painful. And I'm so grateful because despite all this, they managed to put together exhibitions, interviews, conversations, and stay alive, but alive in a beautiful way. And so today, if I look at what's coming, we are slowly reopening. The gallery in New York has suddenly 5 or 6 people a day from 1 or 2 a week. So it's a huge difference. People are coming to New York. People are excited to see museums. People are excited to see art. And, don't think I'm being naive, but I'm a romantic. And I really believe that art has a function right now to heal, to engage, to question, to provoke, to put on us a sense of responsibility and accountability. So at least for the year ahead, what's going to happen is we're going to have a program, and it starts in September in a very, very strong way with an extraordinary artist, Micheline Thomas, a wonderful woman, really engaged, really powerful, feminist, but also vulnerable, incredibly strong, beautiful work of art. And we've decided to do a global exhibition. So it's one exhibition, but it is displayed in 4 locations with like a domino effect. So it opens in New York, then in London, then in Paris, then in Hong Kong. And everywhere someone will go, not only they'll experience part A or B, C, or D of the exhibition, but they'll have access to virtual and digital and magazine and production of content to the whole exhibition. And this is what I want to do on the long term. I think the gallery is an old paradigm. I think our role today is to be side by side with artist and collector, to strategize how to answer individual needs in a very, very haute couture way. I'm very against the maximus of production and engineer and just repeating yesterday's formula. I think, yes, you can do the ostrich and continue and do the same and the same and the same. I actually think it's quite soulless. And I think that the art world of tomorrow is an art world that slows down, not in its quality, not in its commitment, but definitely in its frantic and quantity. When I see what artists have been producing and making this year, the museums will be filled with these works. Our grandchildren will look at a work from Micheline done in 2020, 2021 and say to their grandchildren, this was done during the pandemic. This was done during Black Lives Matters. This was done when the world shut down, where people didn't go to school, where mothers were stranded, where fear fell upon us. And still there was beauty and still there was hope. And I think this is the art world of tomorrow. So yes, a lot of shifts coming with that desire to serve art and artists.
So you mentioned you think it needs to slow down. I remember in that interview we had a year ago, you also criticized that this art fair circus is crazy. Nevertheless, you're now also participating in art fairs again. Coming up is Art Fair in Hong Kong, Art Basel in Hong Kong. So do you still believe that probably, I guess, that you won't be so dependent on art fairs anymore in the future?
Tanya, it's different because Hong Kong, I'm not looking at it as an art fair, although it's Art Basel, of course, because it's going to be just a regional exhibition center, really. It's going to be, we're not allowed to go. Most people can't go. So it's just another way to expand our exhibition room in the context of a fair. And I think art fairs are not going to ever be again these big blockbuster of international. They're going to be for the region. And they might have, therefore, a different relevance. You might treat them differently. The public attending is more going to be continental and regional, well before international. But I'm even questioning participating to art fair totally. I'm not sure. Unless there's a reason to be there. I know that, for example, in Freeze London, because London has been so shut down, I feel it's close to a duty to go there. And we have a beautiful dialogue in between two extraordinary, relevant now African-American artists, Terry Atkins and Carrie Mae Weems. And I think this is important and meaningful. But there are 10 art fairs pretending to exist in between September, October, and November. And if we do 3, I'll be surprised. So I'm going to hold the gallery, myself, my partner, to my words. Less is more.
What about Freeze New York? It just happened a few days ago. One of the very first fairs. Did you go?
So I didn't participate. I tried to go. Getting in was very, very difficult. And the energy when I arrived, I felt, do I want to be there? Does it make sense to be there? And I actually felt it was still the wrong timing. So I turned around and didn't go. I'm trying to stay close to my values and principles right now and not get carried away by a cycle that will be too strong. I just don't believe in it, Tanya. I really believe that we have to slow down. Artists needs the breath and the comfort and the commitment and the support, which is not about more. It's different. I really feel that. So art fair are not where I want to spend my time and energy, except if there is something very specific that I'd like to show or that I'd like to say, or that is incredibly good or important or relevant for an artist that I work with.
So you actually don't really believe that OVRs, online viewing rooms as they are called, have a future, nor do art fairs. So I'm sure that the fair organizers are not so happy to hear that.
No, hear me out. I believe that there'll be new versions of OVR, and I believe there'll be a beautiful way, streamlined, better technology, where people are invited in a different way and participate, and things are moving fast. Art fair, I still believe in them, but as I said to you, in a much more regional way, much more geared to the region, the country, maybe the 2 or 3 countries around. I mean, look, I might be completely wrong. I do not see people wanting to jump in 20 airplanes to be with 1,000 people when so many people are not yet vaccinated. So many are questioning the vaccine. So many variants are still looming. We're still in an unknown world. And so it's also a sense of responsibility. You don't want to be stuck somewhere because suddenly the country is shutting down. You don't want to expose clients that sometimes are vulnerable or of an elderly age. But Tanya, let me say something positive, because these are the things I don't believe in. But I believe so strongly in the role of space and museums and exhibition and putting art in context, whether it's in galleries or in places that have been built for that. I believe people are thirsty for that. I believe I can inhabit a church in Palermo tomorrow and make a gorgeous exhibition, and people can see it, and people can see it on a film, and people can explore it in different ways. This is beautiful. So it's not the end of what we do. I think it's a different way to do it. And I'm very, very bullish, if I want to use a stock word, I'm very, very bullish on the art role, artist role, gallery role, museum role, project space, because we are ready to engage tentatively. We are ready to feel, and we are ready to transact. Business has been incredibly strong this year without the noise. And if business is strong without having that whole cahoot, we're not damaging works of art, we're not spending and wasting for climate control and energy. Galleries have been mindful. There's been less production of catalog, papers, shipments. All this is beautiful. And it doesn't mean less art, and it doesn't mean less creativity. And guess what? It doesn't mean less money either. So I'm putting all this in a very positive way.
Yeah, I was just wondering, probably all the money that you spent to go to a fair, to hold parties and all of that, you kind of compensate the few losses but it seems that you didn't even have losses.
No, I can support the artists. I can finance more production. I can help a studio. I can spend more time with my children. I can have more interesting conversation, less rush with people that matter in my business. I can focus on what a client or an artist or anyone who works with me really needs. And I think I'm better. I think I'm fundamentally a better art galleries dealer, whatever you want to call me today, than I was a year ago. But without a doubt, the service of the galleries are better. Our level of research and digital production and expertise, I mean, has risen exponentially, Tanya, and without the noise. So I feel very positive, very bullish, and very excited about the years ahead.
Wow, that sounds amazing. Very optimistic and a lot of learnings. But you also, I mean, you took the chance, you did things. You mentioned that you opened spaces such as in Palm Beach and Aspen, not only because of business, but because you want to engage with an audience. Nevertheless, I mean, Palm Beach is known for
extraordinary business. Extraordinary business.
Billionaires, exactly. So
you also the beauty of Palm Beach. The beauty of Palm Beach, Tanya, was not just to connect with people we knew and who could indeed buy or sell art. The beauty of Palm Beach was connecting with people we had never met before. And yes, I'm grateful to Palm Beach because it allowed us to keep our teams intact and do beautiful business. But it also allowed us to expand in new areas, in new way of showing art. I mean, we did a Pierre Soulages exhibition, and it created the catalyst for an extraordinary museum show in Shanghai next year. We created a beautiful Pat Steer exhibition, and it created a partnership with the Norton Museum and a beautiful work of Pat entering the museum. So each of these moments sort of blossomed into infinite possibilities. So, you know, that's just joy.
Wow. It's amazing to see how positive you are. Then you also said that you spoke about context, putting things into context. Also in Palm Beach, you have this Reveal initiative, which I read about, which is this ongoing series of single work focused exhibitions devoted to rare masterpieces accompanied by in-depth contextual materials and educational programming that take place in physical and online space. So you're really trying to offer something different. How has the audience?
So it's interesting. Reveal is a concept that my partner, Brett Gorvy, came up with. And I just felt the word was so beautiful and followed his lead. And it's really what it is. It is revealing a picture. You may know the picture or you may not know the picture. You may know the artist, but you will get a traveling and a journey within the work itself in complete depth. You will get not only the artist in context, because that actually would be pretentious. Those artists that I've done Reveal, which is a great Soulages, a great Basquiat, a great Diebenkorn, we don't need to put the artist in context. But the work of art will be looked at, analyzed, presented in a really in-depth way. And again, doing what we believe, which is the physical and the digital. So each of these works, we had an extraordinary Lee Krasner done after the death of Jackson Pollock. And the movie that Brett did then, which related to her passion for Matisse and great archival images, was a 3 minutes movie. But the number of people that emailed us, oh my gosh, I've learned such a different side, if you wish, of the artist. So Reveal is to prompt curiosity. Reveal is to engage and create desire, of course, with a business goal to sell the work, and always to make these works travel in the locations that maybe the artist or that painting is less well known. So Reveal has been very exciting. We have one now in the gallery in New York, focusing on a beautiful Venus by Pistoletto, a man who's in his 80s, who survived COVID and who's done this beautiful Venus with plastic bags all around, and so concerned with the issue of plastic bags, and it's just like a beautiful pop object and a very engaged sculpture. So all of these find their place, and it allows us to move faster also.
So you also said that you connected to new collectors or buyers or a new audience. Who are those people?
They're both. They're people that have collected maybe old master and fell in love with a contemporary works of art, or an impressionist collector who decides to be curious. If you collect Monet and you look at a beautiful waterfall from Pat Steer, you find a connection. If you're into calligraphy and you look at the work of Pat, again, you find a connection. We've also worked with living artists and did a project like the Eternal Flower in Hong Kong in 2 parts, an impressionist version and a contemporary version. And each time, by doing these dialogue exhibition, and this is really what I believe in for the future, these incredible putting in perspective, dialogue, unexpected sometimes, or new people that have just been successful, have finally a bit of time from work, and are taken by the idea of getting engaged with art. So it's all of this.
And talking about new people, there's a recent hype, a big talk in the art world. It seems to be a hype, the whole story around NFTs. I don't know if you have looked closely into it, with Christie selling that artwork by people for almost 70 million US dollars.
Tanya, I don't believe it's a hype. I believe that it's a reality. I believe that artists are going to have possibilities that they've never tapered upon to push technology and create collaborative works, including movement, music, and extraordinary possibilities. And then we're going to have NFTs in public spaces. We're going to have the possibility of show art at 8 in the morning in Bombay and at 10 p.m. in London. And an artist will have an exposure to the public like we don't even understand the beginning of. So right now it's like a fireworks of everything and nothing. But the day it's done properly, the day it's done with the mindset of what is good for the artist and what is good for the public, I think there's no way back.
And you as an art dealer are not afraid of, with these platforms arising, these transactions are done there, and maybe the art dealer might become obsolete?
Maybe. I'm afraid of nothing in my profession, Tanya. I have immense trust in agility and possibility to adapt. And I think that a dealer might be obsolete, but knowledge will never be obsolete.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. Dominique, what else can we expect from you? I mean, probably so many things.
Surprise. Right now, really, it's about getting back into the galleries and not being at home. I mean, you're catching me home today, but I've been at the gallery every day and it's fabulous. The right to travel. I'm very, very excited about an exhibition we're opening next week of a Los Angeles artist, seminal artist called Larry Pittman in Paris. And I'm able to go and I'm able to be there for the opening. And to me, it's just like oxygen. And on the way to my son's graduation, I'm going to go to Paris and be there for an exhibition that I find, again, of an artist who's produced 6 or 7 incredible canvas about what is vanitas today. What is the role of vanitas in this incredible moving society? All painted during COVID, and paintings that I find of such a high quality. I want to be there when we install them in Paris.
Great. Dominique Lévy, thank you very much. I wish you good luck with the opening, and thank you so much for taking your time for this update.
I always enjoy talking to you. It never feels like a chores. It always feels like a fun conversation. So thank you.
So we shall do it again.
Take care.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.